Hey guys, so we're going to go ahead and walk through and make sure that this week is ready to go for you and that you have an understanding of what you need to be accomplishing in our second week of e-learning. So right now I'm in Google Classroom, and what you guys need to do is go into Google Classroom and open up your math class, whatever it may be, in order to find your math learning. I came back to the screen just really quickly. I want you guys to see on the front of each of your little classes will kind of be a list of the things that you need to get done. So that's a simple little checklist so you have an idea of what you should be looking at. But just kind of one of those neat features. I'm not sure if you have in your student one where you have all your classes listed and then possibly a to-do. So that's another thing that you can check in on and see if that works for you. But we're going to go ahead and look at 7th grade compacted for this week. So when we first go in to our classroom, we get placed in what's called the stream, and this is kind of what you would imagine, as I just post things, they get posted on there. But the most organized way and where I want you to look for what you need to be working on is your classwork. And so it'll always start kind of up here at the top. So this, from week 1 of e-learning, you essentially guys had I think it was like 2 or 3 more lessons than what regular 7th grade did just because you're compacted. And I wanted you guys to get through this unit so we can move on to some great 8th grade content. But this was your list of what needed to be done. So your first task on Monday, you kind of have a day off on Monday, but what I want you to do is make sure that all of these are done. So when you look at them right now, they're really dark gray. When you have submitted it and turned it in because you actually did it, not just because you clicked submit, but it's going to end up showing up in this lighter gray where it shows that it's kind of completed. So if you guys can make sure that you have done that, what I would suggest that you do is you go to this first link, you go through here, and then make sure you go through the slideshow and that you've completed each of the tasks that it asked you to complete. So basically learning objective 1, there's your checklist. Learning objective 2, here's your checklist. So there was essentially those that you needed to make sure that you completed. So please, step number 1 for this week is to make sure that we are finished out of unit 5 and that you guys are ready to go into unit 6. So I've created unit 6, and you can see right here we have basically this is our printable notes in our practice. We are only going to be doing lessons 1 through 3 this week, but I loaded these up so that you could print them if you are a person who wants to be able to write on a sheet of paper and take notes as you go. It's helpful for some of you. It's not required, but it certainly is optional. So we are just going to make sure that we get through lesson 3 this week. Lesson 4 will start next week. And so we'll work through that as that time comes, but we're not quite there yet. So this is actually for the entire unit, but your goals this week is lessons 1 through 3. I also posted this Unit 6 study guide for you guys in the beginning so you can see what our learning objectives are and what I want you to be able to do by the end of the unit. So you'll see that here. It's something that you can use as your review for when we get closer to our end of unit test. And then right here we can see our week of 330 e-learning tasks. So this is slideshow. It kind of defines basically what your to-do items are for the week. So if we look in our slideshow right here, we are going to see the first slide after our title slide right here is basically helpful tips to be successful this week. So Edulastic is a website where I've loaded the PDFs of our notes that I showed you that you can print out into and entered in where you are able to type in your answer responses, and unless it's an essay it will grade it automatically, or if it's a written response it will grade it automatically. So you guys will have some immediate feedback of where you're at, and it's great accountability to make sure you guys are doing what you're doing, and I'll show you what that looks like as we get closer. The other thing is that we're transitioning from Google Meet to Zoom. So please make sure that you're aware of that. If you need to meet with your teachers, you can go to the office hours sheet that we created this for that first week. Nothing on Monday though, please, because we have teacher work time, but officially starting on Tuesday. You can see that there's been some changes. We went through and color coded and did teachers by grade level. We also offered some AM and PM virtual class time. So like right now you can see you currently have a 2 p.m. Lang and Lit week 1 with Miss Adams. So if Miss Adams is your teacher, she'll have information for you guys to log in there. So you'll access Zoom through your school account. But if you need to sign up for a time because you have questions, wherever there's an open block between these 10 and 12 o'clock times or 15-minute slots, you can go in and just put your name in there and you can make sure that it's there and that we can sign that up. So please know that the link for that can be found right here in this slideshow that you have here. Your learning objective to-do list is what's going to be found later in the slide show, in this slide presentation, and then your printable lessons I already went over. So just to continue going forward, the first thing you're going to do is basically ask yourself, are you all caught up? So did you finish everything you needed to finish from week 1 of our e-learning? If your answer is yes, you're going to go to the next slide and you're going to get started on this week. If your answer is no, you're going to go to last week's task and you're going to make sure you get it done and pronto. So then you're going to move on to this week's assignments. So I really simplified what our presentation looks like from before. You had the 4 different slides. This is basically your entire week at a glance. So we have 3 learning objectives this week. You will typically have 3 to 4. Learning objective 1, slope and rate of change. Lesson 2 will be on slope and similar triangles, and lesson 3 will be on our slope formula. You're going to watch a lesson each day and complete the notes on Edge Elastic as you watch the lesson. Doing a split screen would be super helpful. So if you don't know how to do a split screen on your computer, maybe Google, how do I do a split screen on a Chromebook, or whatever type of computer you have. So to do a split screen where you have the notes going on one side and the video going on the other. And then the last thing you're going to do is complete the practice. It's an independent practice on Edge Elastic. So it's the same routine for each day. So it basically gets us set in our routine. Our video and our notes should take probably about 15 minutes to complete. And then your independent practice should take about 15 minutes to complete. So if you're super focused and you're working hard, you can spend about 30 minutes on class math each day, and you'll be good and completed with what you need to be done with by the end of the week. So just a platform of where that's going right there. And that's actually the end of the slideshow for the week. So that's basically your to-do for this week. And it's simplified. So you may be asking, where do I find all of these different things? And the answer is we're back into Google Classroom. This is where we were at before. And they're right below here. So you can see lesson 1, 7C 6.1. There's your notes and there's your practice. And then it continues down through lesson 3. So you can see where the platform and where it is that you're working at. So if you click on this right now, it will link you to the Edge Elastic that I talked about. So if you click on that, it'll end up taking you in, and it will actually ask you to sign in with your Google account. And you're going to have to say yes. It's going to ask for permission for stuff. This is the teacher view. But what happens is when you open up the assignment, once you log in, this is what it's going to look like. So as I'm recording the video, and I'm going to have basically paper that I'm doing these notes on for you guys and recorded, so that'll be on our live lesson. We'll do that each morning is essentially when we're going to do it. And then you are going to be typing your notes in, and then this is where you would type in your answer or whatever it may be. Click OK, move to the next one, click OK, whatever it may be. If you want to flag it so you can go back to it and review later, that's fine. We're going to record the video lessons as we do it. So if you get this started and you start on it, then you can go back and be able to change answers later if you feel like you need to. So just you can go in, type in your answers. The important thing to recognize though is pay attention at the bottom of the screen. This one right here tells you that there are 2 pages, so you need to click next to be able to go to the next page and to be able to answer in your information that you need to. If it is a numerical answer, it will pop up like this. It gives you the opportunity to write things as fractions. You can write exponents, so transitioning to this out of Google Forms or whatever it may be, because it gives you mathematical calculations to be able to put in. So just know that that is available to you guys, and that's where that is at. So, that's what that format will look like. That's Edge Elastic. And we had a little bit of it the last week as well. So once you get done with 7.6.1, you'll see in here also once I get the recordings done, I'll add in 7C 6.1 lesson recording, and then you can go back and watch and do as you need to do. So that's basically your week at a glance. So just to review, you're going to make sure you got last week done, and you're going to come in and then start working through this week, paying attention to office hours and times. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope this finds you happy and healthy, and I miss you amazing people, and hang in there. You guys got this.